In a broken wasteland, come to my fire.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson. I am your host. This week, we have a couple of the members from Riastrad here from the Portland scene. Hey, what's going on? I don't even know anybody's names yet because this is such a quick fucking turnaround interview. Who do I have here in the Metal Forge?
I'm Paige. Hi.
And I'm Damion, guitarist.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Say that one more time.
Oh, sorry, I'm Damion.
Oh, hello, Damion. Hello, Paige. Nice to meet you. Are you wearing a bolo tie?
I am. Yeah.
That is awesome. that is one of those fashion accessories that unless you're like either out like Northwest or in the like South, like Texas, nobody really rocks them anymore.
Yeah, it's my everyday little accessory.
Oh, cool. So it's part of your everyday carry.
Kind of, yeah.
I get it. I've got this one like wolf knot stainless bracelet that I've had for like a year and a half. That's just like, it's my fidget spinner because I'm like constantly flipping it around in my hand and I'm just fucking around.
Yeah,
it's the weird things like that we somewhat attach to. It's so cool. So, what's that?
Absolutely, yeah. Like,
so
you reminded me that I'm not wearing my everyday bracelet, and I immediately was like, "Oh, what am I going to fidget with?" But we'll just
right, because it's just so easy, or just whatever the case may be. So, how are y'all doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Awesome. How's Portland this time of year? Because as we record this, it's gonna be out at the end of September, so we're starting to get into the fall time.
Yeah, it just started like the other day. It started raining, but it's back up to being hot. Like everywhere, the weather is not like it used to be here. So it's staying much warmer longer, and yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to some cooler weather and some rain.
Yeah. Where I am, I'm in Louisville. So I'm actually in southern Indiana. I'm a mile away from Louisville, and that's the river, essentially. So we have what we refer to as false fall here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically around the end of August to middle of September, it gets to be where it's like 60, 70 instead of 80, 90, 200. Yeah. And we just had that, and now it's back up to the fucking 90s again. Yeah. And not the good kind of 90s either.
No, it's brutal.
Like no, not the good kind of 90s like cassette decks and shit like that, But so yeah, and then and it'll probably stay this way for us now, not to the 90s, but especially into the 80s, that we'll end up getting like, until the end of October usually.
Right.
And then it starts to cool back off again. It's like, oh, but
yeah.
I've seen snow on Halloween before.
Right.
So who knows?
I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. So like, I know exactly what you're talking about,
Hell yeah. So how long you been out in PDX?
Since 2006. So
so about 20 years now.
Yeah. In my like early 30s, I moved out here.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's how it kind of is transplant,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I mean,
we're legit because Todd and Lance, our rhythm section, are both from here. So we've got 50%, so we can claim that we're like a local.
So you're not from there either, Paige?
No. Southern California. I moved here about 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. It seems like a lot of people that I've known have made that move.
Yeah,
to Portland. not just from Southern California or Cleveland, but a lot of people seems to be a destination place these days.
Oh yeah.
And for the life of me, I know it's the culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, decriminalization of things matters a lot too, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But,
exactly.
but you know, but as we were talking before we jumped on, was the scene and how
Mhm.
the scene is just so big,
Oh yeah.
but not in the same regard, because
Absolutely.
it's like there's so many cool people out there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Riastrad.
Yeah.
You've got to tell me about this, because I listened to the track. Of course, we follow each other on Instagram.
Mhm.
And so when I clicked over and listened on the Bandcamp, I saw the cover for the Watchtower. And, you know, I love the design of it, because the logo is exactly what it needs to be. The parapet, or whatever you want to call it, the castle there, it almost gives me a vibe of it's the Who album.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Totally.
You know, where it's the obelisk standing up behind them.
Yeah.
And then you've got like the sky, which is like purples and blues and pinks and black, and you know, it almost looks like that. A lot of like there was a game back in the day, a board game that came with like a VHS tape. It was like Dragon Slayer or Dungeon Slayer, and it was
Yeah. Oh, what you're talking about.
and it has like that polarization effect over like most of like the background. So because they were basically using like shit that they didn't have the rights to,
right.
so they would make it like fucking like this weird shit.
That's well, so
Yes,
actually I did. So what happened was, you know, Paige and I were talking about, we need to come up with a cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went on and do like a Google image search of like what do you call it, public domain like medieval watchtowers.
Yeah.
And there just happened to be like that one is like a picture from the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent it to Paige, and she did all the coloring. And
I don't use Photoshop. I got a 7-day free trial to make this cover. I just started pressing buttons and was like, I don't know, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and honestly, that's how you do it. You do it you don't get experience if you don't just jump in.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's with anything. That can be in your band, that could be in your Photoshop. Like legit, I started making lyric videos and visualizers. And that is a plug, everybody.
Yeah.
No, I started doing lyric videos, visualizers, music videos, and stuff like that, and had really no idea how I was going to do it. And I got a free trial to CapCut originally, and was dicking around on there, and they had like a transcribe program.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, it was easy at that point, because then you could just change out whatever they messed up and change the fonts and whatnot. But then actually when the trial expired, you know, it's like, oh shit, I've really got to learn how to do this now.
Yeah.
Because it was fun. It was a thing to do. It was fun. But no, I totally dig that. And it's so wild that you said that. Well, that's exactly what it was. Mm-hmm. Is because earlier in the week I shared a story on Instagram, and it was with an interview with Rick Rubin. And one of the things that I always remember from a story I heard about him was do it until somebody tells you that you can't.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, and like that picture alone, you know, it looks rad as shit. And I mean,
thanks.
I mean, I dig it. So anyway, big tangent there on artwork right at the beginning, because I'm
honored.
Well, and I'm sure Damion and Paige, you probably as well. And just like me, we came from a time more than likely where it was digging through the stacks in the record store, or CDs even, you know, not just vinyl, and buying something by image alone.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Like you were just like, I hope this sounds as amazing as the cover looks. Like that was basically every purchase when we were growing up in the 80s and, you know, early 90s. It was like a leap of faith you know, that,
Yeah.
Sure.
whatever you were discovering for the first time, you know.
What was the best one you ever picked up?
Oh man, probably.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, that is a hard
It
question.
is, because that, you know, you really got to think about it.
Yeah.
I'll give you one while you're thinking. Malaya Rage
Oh.
is a band from Baltimore, I believe. I can look on Google right now. It's either Baltimore or Boston. I always get them confused. But it's a thrash band that I picked up a cover. You know, they had a Indian with a headdress, a war bonnet on, and it was a skeleton.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I've got it. So I bought it and went home, did the research, and found out that like one of the, like Sully Erna was a member of this band as a drummer at one point, and I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, so many cool ones. But did you think of one or two?
Well, I'm right next to my CDs, so I grabbed this.
Oh hell yeah!
I found this at a record store. I don't know if it's Zior or Zior. It was at the record store I was working at. And I thought it looked cool. And it's been one of my favorite records, one of my favorite bands, like, for the past 6 months. And I thought the cover was neat. And it turns out the same guy who photographed the first Black Sabbath cover photographed this as well. Thought it was kind of a cool little piece of history. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
Hell yeah. I'm actually, I did the Google thing.
Yeah.
I had to bring them up here. Wow. Got some cool Discogs stuff up here. Zior is a psychedelic hard rock band from Southend-on-Sea, England, in the United Kingdom, formed in 1970.
Oh, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Formed in 1970. Because of contractual reasons, the band released an album under the name of Monument.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
Huh.
Wild.
Yeah, I haven't done too much research on them, but
apparently that is from Nepenthe is the name of that, I guess. That's what it looks like here. Cool shit. I love like finding out new stuff like that. But anyways, see, now you understand when I said then we're going to break over to Derailed, but this whole show is fucking derailed. Because I've already said let's talk about the band, and then we start talking about other things.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Yes, tell me about the makings of Riastrad.
So I started Riastrad back in around 2010. And I had been playing drums in like an artier punk band for a few years here with some friends of mine who had also moved out from Ohio. And you know, we played for a few years, and then at some point, I think it was really when I, like a lot of people, when I saw the Red Fang prehistoric dog video, you know, I was just like, yeah, I should get back into playing guitar and do something heavy again, you know? And so the bassist in that band introduced me to Lance, our drummer.
Okay.
And he introduced me to, back then, we had a bassist, singer, Ryan, and another guitarist, Justin. And we played for about 2 years. And things were going pretty good, but we had a 3-song EP that we had put out, and but I was having like personal stuff in my life. I ended up going through a divorce, and you know, all that kind of personal stuff. And Ryan was going through a lot of personal stuff at the same time, and it just really started to cause the band to implode. And so I called it quits. The band dissolved, and then like during the pandemic, Lance contacted me,
Okay.
and he was like, "Hey, we should get together and jam." And I was like, yeah, you're right. I hadn't really, I had gone back to playing drums for a short period, with two women that I'm friends with, but that was just for fun, and it was short lived. We eventually played a few shows, and for about a year, and then called it quits. And so I wasn't doing anything, and I thought, oh yeah, that'd be great, to meet up with Lance again. And he was very, very subtle about it, but it was like, yeah, let's just jam, let's just get together and jam, and this and that. And then he was like, hey, my friend Todd, who plays bass, should I invite him over? And I was like, yeah, invite him over, and
Sure.
and then it was like, okay, so are we going to call this Riastrad again, or do we want to call it something else? And I was like, and Todd and I both were like, oh, okay, I guess we're
Getting the band back together.
Yeah. And so,
that's so wild that you say that like, so being a bit older now myself, and obviously you said, moving out there, back in your early 30s. So what's crazy is, like, I remember playing shows in that same time period that you're talking about, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
And how the economy took a shit.
Yeah.
Like, horrible fucking took a shit economy. Yeah. And from about 2009 till about 2014 or 15. Yeah, it was, I think everybody had that same issue of things going on.
Yeah, it was a combination of, like, at the beginning of every month, I would put out emails to, like, all the venues, be like, hey, we're available this month. If you have any shows coming up, this and that. And the first couple, the first year, that seemed to work. And then, I know we were, I wasn't as frustrated, but I know there was some frustration in the band over, like, the only shows we seemed to be getting were like benefit shows for free, which I personally didn't, I always made sure they were causes I believed in, so I wasn't as upset about it. But I get that it was like we were going, like, packing up, spending money on gas to go play, and then we weren't getting anything personally out of it, which
sure,
to be expected,
right? So I wasn't as upset as others in the band, but it was causing a lot of stress, and then I was getting frustrated because I felt like, well, I'm the one trying to do all the booking, and so it just came to a head, and I was like, yeah, let's stop. But then when Lance, got us together, I thought, okay, this time, and this is not to take anything away from Ryan. He has a great voice, and, did a great job singing for us back then and playing bass, which is, really difficult. But even back then, I felt like, because he had a lower register, that our sound was all just kind of like in the same level register,
sure.
And I had always kind of wanted somebody with a higher voice that could sit over top,
right,
the guitars and the bass and everything, So Paige and I have a mutual friend, Jaden, and so when I put out there on Instagram and Facebook that we were looking for a singer, preferably female or a male with a higher voice, he contacted me immediately and was like, hey, this is my friend Paige, you need to talk to her. She's she knows how to, I think he said, like, something like, she knows how to music or something like that.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. So I sent her a text, and she came over, and it worked out, even with her being her playing with a bunch of 50 something Gen Xers,
sure
to her too much. So,
Right. So Paige, tell me your story. How did you said you moved from Southern California a few years ago.
Yeah.
Were you in bands down there? Or
I was kind of in a few bands since high school, playing bass, mostly
Nice.
punk bands. I have always written my own music, so I've kind of had this long going solo project that sometimes I still, I don't know, entertain the idea of, but
because you're a bass player, you have the idea, but you don't want to put it on guitar either. You want somebody else to be able to play the guitar and the drums.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it because
yeah.
hey, I got my bass here.
Yeah.
I get it. I have that exact same thing. I have this whole orchestra that I just don't want to write guitar for.
I agree. Yeah, it's like I like playing instruments. I like playing bass the most, but
Sure.
I like singing more. So then I have to play guitar. I don't like playing guitar, but I will.
I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, just I don't know. Being in more punk leaning bands, I always wanted to fulfill my like doom fantasies, and so being able to do that, I always thought that would be on bass, but being able to do that singing has been so fun for me. And it hasn't been a realm because I've sung folk or country or quiet singer songwriter stuff, but knew I don't know, it's a territory that I didn't explore before. And since I think when we first started practicing, I was so nervous and was really like, I'm just gonna go for it and just belt. And the whole time was like, I'm so uncomfortable right now, but I'm just gonna keep belting and doing it. And now it's like I feel so into myself now.
For sure.
Because of kind of getting that out of my system and discovering that side of me that I didn't quite know was there. Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's interesting because, like you said that, you have this idea that you've got going on, and this allowed you to do something different.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love about, like doom and stuff like that is the breath, because it is different than singing singer-songwriter or, even thrash. You're in a field, you have a lot of, I don't want to say competition. I was about to, but it's not at all what I mean. You have a lot of, there's a lot of contemporaries in your field up there in Portland. As we were talking before, the Soul Grinder, Tanya from Shadowland, Amy from Solicitors in that region.
Yeah.
You have a lot of powerful women vocalists up there.
Absolutely.
And that's totally cool. And, that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed across the scene as a whole is, how many awesome women are doing vocals for these bands now. And it's, and everybody is cool with one another too, with it. There's no ego, there's no shit. It's just all out fucking the shtick. It's the metal. It's the thing. And bravo to that.
It's funny because we're all friends with the band Slow Goat, and like they're like the one band we both want to play with each other so bad, and have tried a couple times now to get a show together because we love each other's bands so much, and for whatever reason we're gonna get it together soon because we're both like we have to play together, and that's I love that everyone here is so supportive of each other.
Because I mean, I think when you think about it, like it's always been dudes fronting bands and never really, up front been a competition. So I think it's great that more women are fronting metal bands, and it's not like a comparison between each other, but rather than we all have our own voice as it should be, as everyone does. And it just feels good to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, in the metal world, there was always, well, the brush up with the metal world with punk, you know, Wendy. Everybody knows who Wendy, and how she had that all out image and everything. But, you know, she's been gone 26, 27 years now, I think, something like almost 30 years. And I think it really got reborn in bands like Kitty.
Yeah,
totally.
And Drain STH from Sweden back in the early 2000s. And, you know, as much as it almost kind of pains me to say, because of like seeing how the person became after the fact, Amy Lee, you know, even with them, with Evanescence and stuff, that to now you have so many awesome bands out there that are just, that they're all, and like I said, with the bands I mentioned earlier, or the ladies I mentioned earlier, they're all in different styles of bands.
Yeah.
Black thrash, you know, new wave of traditional heavy metal, doom with you all, you know, and that's so cool. And you could all, and here's the thing with Portland, you could all play together. Yeah. And it would be a banger of a fucking show.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's rad as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to not, I don't know. There's no tokens up here, you know. We're all on the evil, evil, even playing field.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. And is because I think that's where the differentiation happens in, you know, there's fractured scenes out there. And fractured scenes is the reason why, you know, because, you know, there's ego and there's arrogance and there's just, you know, just the goofy mundane shit that just comes between people.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the thing I like about like the metal is, and like with Portland, and I need to visit eventually. It's just one of the few places I haven't been in the States, the continental states, that is.
Really?
But yeah, like it's just like, since doing this show, it seems like the most awesome, like two scenes in particular have been like Pittsburgh and Portland.
Oh yeah.
And just like being in like opposite ends of the country, and they're just amazing, and having a lot of the same, like I said, same kind of deal. A lot of women fronted, you know, women doing vocals in the band, you know, and that's rad.
And even, you know, before we got Todd, I had two female friends that I asked if they wanted to play bass, you know, before Todd joined the band. You know, it's like, you know, growing up, when we grew up in the 80s, early 90s, you know, like I started playing guitar around 1987, 88 when I was about 14. And I just...
So you're about 10 years older than me.
Yeah. I'm 51.
I'm 42.
Yeah, there you go. So at that time, it used to drive me nuts, because actually my first instrument was viola in the orchestra, and starting in fourth grade. And then the next year I picked up clarinet, and I played both. I played in the orchestra and the concert band. And I was surrounded by female musicians, you know? So then when I started playing guitar and hanging out with these guys, other guitarists, and they'd be like saying shit like, well, you know, women can't really play guitar very well because their hands aren't big enough, and this and that. And I'd be like, what about Nancy?
What kind of fucking shit are you talking?
Like,
excuse.
Yeah, till I'd be like, well, Susie Quattro plays bass, like, and that's even bigger. Like, what are you basing? You know, even at that age, I was like, this is baseless. You know, like you're coming up with shit because that's the stereotype that you believe, you know. But I mean, clarinet, I was always like second chair because I couldn't beat Sue Hatters for first chair. Like, just that much better than me. Like,
Well,
I had to live with that, you know?
Okay.
So,
case in point,
yeah.
your shirt. We mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Iron Kingdom. Megan's a fucking shredder.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the fucking shredder, like Ruku fucking Saki, you know, is crazy good.
Right. And so that's why, like, I think with just about every band I've played in, the first band I played drums in back in Cleveland, my friend Hannah was the singer, you know, it's like, I've never really even considered what the gender is of my only thing is, can you play? You know, can we mesh as musicians?
Yeah, can we play? And is there, you know, and it's the exact same thing I would relate to anyone in a band.
Yeah.
Can you play? And do you attract bullshit?
Right.
I mean,
that's the
that and that's a big one.
Yeah.
You know,
that is
attract the bullshit, because if it's bullshit, you know, it's like the no press is bad press, or right. No whatever, or all press is good press, or whatever. No, it's not, but
no,
it's definitely not. But no, so yeah, I totally get that. Poslin Chanton, for example, an amazing bass player, and does not get the credit for what she deserves, but her brothers do, for being the concert musicians that they are.
Right, and it's just frustrating, you know. Like, how many times do we all have to like mention, you know, like Carol Kay of the
the Wrecking Crew,
you know, like how many times do we have to bring that up to make the point?
And you know, she hated playing bass.
Oh, really?
I love that.
Yeah. She hates hates playing bass. Yeah, she was originally a guitarist, an amazing, like, seeing video of her playing guitar, and then they brought her in for a session and said, "Hey, we need a bass player," and they were like, "Can you do it?" And she's like, "Okay," and it had been the fucking bass player ever since. You know, that's another weird thing that. What's that, Paige?
What was that?
What'd you say?
No, that's it seems like how it's happens with every bass player. It's just, I think the first time I played bass, I was playing guitar at my high school, and some guy that I hardly ever talked to was like, "Do you want to play bass in my band?" I was like, "I don't play bass," and he's like, "You probably, yeah, you do." Okay.
Yeah, because 6 strings and 4 strings are interchangeable.
Right. Exactly.
So that's interesting that happened to you that way, because like when everybody's a guitar player first, essentially, especially unless you're a drummer, and unless you're a drummer first, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But for me, we were sitting in 6th grade in the lunchroom in the cafeteria at school, and we were it was probably October, and we were like, "Hey, what's everybody gonna get for Christmas this year?" So we're, you know, talking about that shit, 12, 13 years old. And one of my friends was like, "My parents are gonna get me a guitar and lessons." I was like, "Dude, that's pretty cool." And I was like, "My mom's got a guitar. She doesn't fucking play it. Still have it, by the way." It's one of the only instruments that I still have from that era of my life. But I was like, we should all do that.
Yeah.
We should all ask our parents for instruments and start a band.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's like, we could do that. I mean, look at the Beatles. I mean, so it's like, well, what do you want to play? I want to play guitar. He's like, hey, we already know so-and-so's getting a guitar. So it's like, what do you want to play? I want to play guitar. So what do you want to play? I want to play guitar. It's like, and then I'm next in line. Fuck. It's already 3 guitar players. We're Leonard Skinnard. And I was just like, I'm going to play bass.
Yeah.
And, and then so on and so forth to the people. And my mom actually said she wanted me to learn how to play guitar first because that old saying, if you can play guitar, you can play bass.
Yeah.
Not true.
Not true.
Not true at all. John Deacon has would say something about that because, look at the Another One Bites the Dust bass line.
Right.
Les Claypool even. So,
yeah.
But, so that was how I got into it with, hey, do you want to play bass for my band? I play guitar.
Right.
Like, yeah, I wanted to play bass. Everybody, I was requested to learn guitar. So
that's my first band in high school, like rock band that I was in. My friend Jared had been playing guitar since he was like 10, and he was a shredder already. So I started taking guitar lessons, but it was that whole thing of like, well, I wasn't good enough to hang with him on guitar, but we wanted to start a band. So I had an older cousin who had played bass. So I bought his bass. And so we were, trying to get a band together. And we got together with this kid that played the drums at our high school. And, he wasn't great, but it was somebody to play. It was the only person we knew that played drums. And, and so we tried to get it going. And then out of nowhere, that drummer was like, okay, I want us to be a Christian rock band and we're going to be called Crusader. And I was like, I'm out. I was just like, no, I can't.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It is a good name. I'm going to give him that because I will tell you now, as soon as you said it, the first band I thought of was Witch Hazel.
Right. So,
which is a Christian rock band. They're Knights Templar based.
Yeah.
So they're like Arthur the Round Table, they're like that era of Christian rock band. But no, you said it, and it's a good idea. No, in theory, not in practice.
Right. Yeah.
Just use the image.
Right.
Not the message.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we were going to play a battle of the bands when we were like 14. And we like decided it was at the Armory base in the next adjacent town. Where the county is, Salem, is what the name of the city is. And we were like, we could do Whole Lot of Love. It's easy. It's just like, and we got together for like one practice and we're like, fuck this. We're not going to do this because the person who said he could play it on drums couldn't play drums.
Right.
And not only did he didn't have a kick pedal.
Oh my God.
It had broken. So he was trying to play with his hand, playing the kick with his hand.
He'd be better off actually kicking the drum with his.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, that's one of my Spinal Tap stories from being a child with teenager playing in a band. So what do you all have going on for the rest of 2025? Going with fuck that. Don't answer that yet because I want to ask.
Sure.
I am a Magic the Gathering fan. I don't play well, so I don't play the game. I love the artwork. I'm a D&D fan. Total TSR, original D&D, and up until about 3.5. I'll go that far. Everything else, not so much.
Yeah.
So Strahd, obviously spelled a little bit different. Innistrad, the vampires, stuff like that. Where does Riastrad come from?
So okay, so Riastrad is an ancient Irish term for the hero Cuchulain's battle rage.
Oh,
the actual like physical manifestation of his battle rage. And so if you read the Toyn, which is the the myth that his story is in, there's this amazing description of what happens. He basically hulks out, and
sure.
But it's all this crazy stuff. Like his hair becomes like stands up on end and becomes like spikes, and one eye like falls out of his head, and the other one goes so far back that a crow can't peck to it, and like his shins turn back, and like all this crazy stuff, just to like give you this crazy description of like how intense his battle fury was.
Now this is Irish folklore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like Christian Irish mythology. Yeah,
that's wild. So it's basically like in the what they called the battle for the island.
Basically, yeah, it's all
with the two-a-day Danon and stuff. That's cool.
Yep.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. I didn't realize that's where that had come from.
Yeah, I love mythology. My whole life, I've loved all the different various mythologies, and it was one of those things where I was trying to think of a name, and which is generally the hardest thing when it comes to getting a band together, is thinking of a name. And I felt like anything from Greek mythology, just because of our culture in this time, anything from Greek mythology is going to sound too like collegiate, like too like ivory tower of the university or something like that. Anything from Norse mythology is going to be potentially suspect, because you have I didn't want to have to worry about anyone asking themselves like, well, are these people, Nazis or fascists, or anything?
Sure.
And so I thought, well, okay, people don't really. I even have Celtic mythology is so huge in its scope that, as much as I've read of it, I have a hard time keeping track of everything in it. It's like it's there's just so much to it.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right with that. And honestly, that's what. So I have a 2-hour one-way drive to band practice with Ice Owl. So the Audible subscription has totally been amazing for them, because you're right. There is so much in depth of Celtic mythology.
Yeah.
That like I need somebody to like break it down and like explain it. So I do the audiobook for that reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is so much that goes on.
And
because
it's
like,
and
like I said, the battle for the island of Ireland. That's great. That's a great story.
I thought it would be a good mythology to explore for a band name, because people don't know it as well.
Sure.
Most of us grow up doing Greek mythology in school, so we're all familiar with that. And then a lot of people just culturally are aware of Norse mythology, but I figured like Celtic mythology, not that many people know about it. So it would, whatever I chose, I felt would probably be more unique in that respect. And so I thought, like, when I read that, like, I was like, oh, I'm like you said, I'm an old D&D player too. And I always play a barbarian. So of course that's what I had to like.
So is that the barbarian's name in a campaign too?
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I thought, the battle rage, the term for battle rage would be a great band name, and so that's why I chose it.
Hell yeah, dude. That's amazing. Yeah. So that's totally rad. I dig the I dig going to a different mythological source for material because as you said, there is a lot of conflicting Norse mythology bands.
Yeah,
Whether, because there is some that fall into that white power shit,
yeah,
and I don't get it.
Well,
But
it's a complete co-option. Like they try to claim that it's this is how it was and this is our heritage and this and that, and it's like if you know anything about actual Scandinavian history of that time period, like it doesn't add up.
Sure, no, absolutely. But so anyway, as I said a minute ago before I said fuck that, what do y'all have going for the rest of 2025?
Well, we
are getting pretty close to releasing a full-length album. We're working kind of on the masters right now. We're gonna get back in the studio to redo a song, and so hopefully that gets going soon. We've got a Halloween show booked so far, but that's our trajectory right now.
What's the details for the Halloween show? Has it been announced yet? I mean, by the time this drops, will it be announced?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's not, that's cool. We can play that by ear and I can just share it after the fact.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to step on promoters' toes or anything. Might be, I know you all are playing with Judas Priest that night. So no. That would be the shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure wherever it is. So it's a Halloween show. You got to do costumes.
I've been racking my brain a little bit about that of what we should do. It's got to be coordinated, so or not. It could just be total chaos, and that would be good too. But
we'll see. I think you've kind of got it easy, Paige. Because as we've been talking this whole show, I have been thinking of one thing, the album cover of Black Sabbath. Because the way your hair parts down, you totally have you could totally go as the album cover of Black Sabbath.
Yeah, totally.
And that's it. Is it
Free Woman?
It's pretty,
right?
So
exactly.
But hell yeah, look.
Right.
I'll just throw these guys in hooded I don't know, executioner outfits or something and call it a day.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. That's the cool shit. I love playing Halloween shows for that reason.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's fun. Not every year. I don't do it every year because I know there's some bands that do, but I really like the concept of the band, the original band that gets together on Halloween shows and does a cover set.
I think that's pretty fun. Yeah.
Dressed as the band.
Right.
You have you're going to do a Black Sabbath cover set or whatever, and I think that's cool.
I've actually imagined that that day that I finally am able to play any Randy Rhoads Ozzy song fluently, and and I get a little feathered blonde wig. And with my hairy chest would be hilarious.
Because he was only wearing the vest.
Yeah, he'd only wear the vest. But he was rail thin and tiny and hairless, and I am a giant hairy man, so it was ridiculous.
Yeah. The crazy thing is nobody ever realizes this. Look at any pictures of Randy.
Mm-hmm.
You almost never see his feet planted on the ground.
Yeah. Right.
But the ones that you do, Randy wore heels.
Yeah, he had those. They were like cowboy boots with a tall heel.
with like stilettos. Yeah, they were like a 6-inch lift.
right before,
and he was still 5'1".
Yeah, right before I moved out here, my ex and I were like, "Oh, we should probably go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before we move away from Cleveland," you know. And so, so we went, and they had his stage outfit and his guitar, and I just was looking at like, man, he was so tiny.
Yeah.
Like, such a small man. I was like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, so was Dio.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's not that big of a guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like 5'5".
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
What's that?
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey. No, I totally get it. Awesome. Let's switch over to Derailed. I know it's been derailed pretty much the entire show, but this is what it's about. It's getting people into your music, getting people into, just the thing of what you all do.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're all fucking people.
Yep.
And we all come from different walks of life, and that shit should be celebrated.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just fucking because. That was a dumb question. I flipped straight over to it. It says, if you could be famous, why would you want to be famous? Of course, because you're playing fucking music, They want what would you want to be best in the world at?
Man, I don't know. Best in the world at? That's a lot of pressure because, if you say like singing, then all of a sudden you're known as the best singer in the world. That sounds like more work than I would ever want to do. I don't know. Best in the world.
That's a tough one too, because music is subjective. Like any art is subjective. So it's hard to say, like, of course my instinct would be to say like, well, the best guitarist in the world. Like I would love to be, better than I want to be better than I am right now at guitar.
Sure.
But that's such a subjective thing. So then my other thing I think is like, well, what am I not good at? So like fixing my car actually, or like, something like, because
but you also got to look at it like this too. If you're best in the world at something, ultimately people are going to want to come to you.
Yeah.
And
so like if you were fixing a mechanic. Yeah. So that's a totally good way to look at that is, being best at something is subjective. Being mediocre at a lot of things is probably the way to go, I would say.
Right. Right. I would like to be, I wish I was a better gardener. Because I grow my own food. I would love to be better at doing that because I've tried, and I used to think I was good at it, and then I realized it was because it was at my grandmother's, and she had grown up on a farm, so her garden like just grew anything you threw out there was going to grow because cultivating it for so long. And so now at my house, I try to grow stuff, and then I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to make there's a whole science to it.
Yeah,
for real. I mean, like back in the day, I think you're right. It was cultivation through generational upbringing. So you planted the crops every single year. You knew what to plant when and how to plant when.
Yeah, and she knew.
Like for example, corn strips nitrogen of the ground. Strips the ground of nitrogen, and so when you almost don't want to plant it 2 or 3 years in a row because of that reason. You got to switch off to something like soybeans or even hay or something.
Yeah, and she always like collected all her eggshells and fish bones, all that stuff, and it would always go in the garden. It wouldn't go in the garbage,
Yeah.
And so
composting.
Yeah, it was always composting, and now I'm like, what happened? Like, I used to be good at this.
Yeah.
You know.
Hell yeah. I think honestly, and this might be a little bit too cliche of an answer for that question, is something I would want to be best in the world at is just being a person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like making it every day, getting through, just being the best possible you can be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being there for your friends.
If you could be a personal, I'm sorry, were you going to say something else?
Is that your pageant answer?
It is. It's my pageant answer. I probably should. I'm not going to let those intrusive thoughts win.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. If you could be a personal assistant to anyone, who would it be? I would say currently living.
Currently living.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, would you be a personal assistant to Lemmy or
Right.
right. Yeah. I mean, now I guess you could, I guess personal assistant, if you did want to spin this musically, would be like their guitar tech, their bass tech, drum tech. That would probably be the closest approximation to, say, a personal assistant to a musician.
Man, probably.
But the question is general. You can say whoever.
I would say somebody like Steve Vai.
Okay.
Because he was probably my first like guitar hero when I was a kid, and he seems really down to earth and really grounded when I see interviews with him. Like, not a maniac, like, of course, things that pop up were like, Ozzy or some, but would you really want to have to deal with the chaos that would come along with somebody like that? Like,
sure,
I probably could not, like, I would throw up my hands and walk away. So it would have to be somebody who is, a little more serious and a little more like dedicated to their art,
definitely.
kind of. And so I would think Steve Vai, Tony Iommi, of course, but he's getting on, and who knows how much longer he's going to be playing. So like,
sure,
their consideration, I'd be like, yeah, I would totally love to, be able to hang out with, like, be guitar tech for, hang out with, and pick the brain of somebody like Steve Vai.
Yeah, and like I said, just in the thing of like in keeping it musically, I'd like to be a personal assistant to George Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Just saying, because just to exactly say what you said, to pick his brain and say, how did you do this?
Right.
On with a shoestring, a matchstick, and a piece of tape. How did you do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. That one's racking my brain. I'm not sure. I feel like I can't even assist myself through life. I wouldn't want to put me on anybody's, I wouldn't want to be responsible for anybody.
No, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. I've never thought about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
I totally get it. Yeah, that is a tough question, because it's like, because it's like so many different walks of life, even, and
Yeah.
it doesn't, and we think about like, oh, well, like Tony Iommi, Steve Vai, Ozzy, Lemmy, bands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it could totally just be a super success,
Yeah.
super successful or even unsuccessful fucking person that you know. I mean, even I think anybody like having an assistant to them, you know, I mean, I think that's how you make it through things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, even in the with the business and non-business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because essentially you're leaning on that person for more than just, you know, you're helping that person like essentially live,
Yeah.
you know, being a support structure for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a paid position, of course, but
Right.
I mean, I don't know. If it were Tony Iommi, I'd probably take it unpaid.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, so that's one of my other ones. So,
Yeah.
Hand of Doom here
Right.
on my.
Right.
What's the first movie you ever remember seeing in the theater?
Star Wars. I was gonna say Star Wars. Yeah.
Like
mine was episode 3 though.
Yeah, mine was episode 4, original release.
Nice.
I was 3. My mom took me because I was so excited, and she had to like remind me to breathe as the movie was starting, because I was like starting to hyperventilate because I was getting so excited.
Yeah.
Apparently, she always told me.
I wasn't. I was dragged there. And we got there late because it was my dad driving, and so we were there late, and the only seats available were in the very, very front row of this like IMAX theater.
Holy shit.
What I remember was, okay, I'm seeing Star Wars, but what really, when I look back on the memory, is me just looking up at like the fire and stuff and being like, I don't even like this movie. And so I'm like fucking 7 years old.
Right.
I'm not saying I dislike Star Wars. I just at
that time,
not that time. I actually haven't really even sat down and watched all the movies, so I can't really opinion on Star Wars.
For sure.
One day I will.
Yeah, one you can go, you can have just the films. I'll say that. But if you want to go farther in, there's always something.
Yeah.
Something that's really good. I'm caught up on pretty much every fucking thing. Except for the books. I don't do a lot of those, but
I started back in the early 2000s. I started down that path, and there was just too much.
Yeah.
You know, it was like at a certain point I was like, I have to start reading something else, because there's just too much.
Well, when you time out nerd talk here. In the book series, I always thought that everything that they had done through the early 90s on to about 2004 is pretty much primo. When they started getting into like the new Jedi Order stuff around 2005, 2008, that era where it's, dealing with like 30 and 40 and 50 years past, it's kind of interesting, but it's almost like it takes away from what the thing was. So I totally get what but like the original like Zahn series of Thrawn, you can't go wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just glad that we're getting it mostly now, just in a different part of the timeline. Describe your most vivid paranormal experience.
Go ahead.
So there's this canyon in Southern California called Black Star Canyon. It's kind of known to be haunted. It's been known that there's like cults back there doing like rituals and stuff.
Like ritual sacrifice?
But sounds cool. I think I was like, I don't know, 15 years old back there with some friends, and we're walking along, seeing how far we can go. It's nighttime, and it's like first we see like a burnt pair of shorts and we're like, that's weird. And then we walk and there's like a burnt t-shirt. And we're like, all right, this is bad. Something's happening. And then we just start hearing like lots of yelling noises that don't quite sound like humans yelling, but that's probably the only paranormal experience I've had. But I don't know if I really believed that it was a paranormal experience, but it sure did feel like one at the time.
Yeah. So I have one.
I'm looking this place up really fast.
All right.
Wow. Some pretty cool stuff.
Right?
Down in the Santa Ana mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we used to go to this abandoned school bus back there and smoke weed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doing the devil's work.
Yeah. Right.
All right, Damion, what you got?
So when was it? 1999, end of 1999. My best friend and I got an apartment together in like one of the close in suburbs to Cleveland. And the first night there, because we moved in on October 30th. I remember because the next night, like, we went to a Halloween party. And but that first night, laid down in my bedroom, and all of a sudden I just kept hearing this like knocking on the wall. And I was like, the hell is that? And it was scaring the shit out of me for a second. And then it just got annoying. So I'm like laying in bed, just like flipping the wall off, thinking I'm, dealing with a ghost. And the next morning, like, I got up and I said to Jay, I was like, dude, do we have a haunted apartment or something? Like, did you hear that knocking? And he looked at me and he was like, dude, that's the steam radiators heating up. Like, I'd never lived in a house that had steam radiators before. So
Holy shit.
Knocking in the walls I thought it was haunted.
Dude, that's wild. I was driving one night and it was probably in like 2007 ish.
Yeah.
And where it was around this time of year, it was around fall time. And so like the trees were already starting to turn. You could really see the in the night, right? It was like a clear night out. You know how, when you've got a near full moon that you can still pretty much see a lot of shit still.
Yeah.
As I was driving, so the road that my family lived on, you would go down this big ass hill through a wooded area that was part of Clark State Forest. And then you would go through an S curve, and then about another 2 miles up, you'd go through another one.
Mm-hmm.
So going through this first S curve, there was this really bright fucking light in the sky, just at the top of the treetops. Went through the S curve, still there, not moving, nothing, just watching. Went through the second set, and as I'm on the straightaway out, it just does this number. It moves to the left, moves to the right, and fucking moves out, and just is gone.
Oh shit!
I have no fucking idea,
right,
what it was. 2 or so years later, I'm telling a story to a friend of mine, and he said that he was living in what's essentially it's Borden, Indiana. It's another little adjacent town, little small town shit type stuff.
Yeah.
He saw the same fucking thing.
Damn. Yeah.
Ooh.
And we worked together, and it was just like, holy shit. Crazy stuff out there.
Spooky.
That actually reminds me of in high school. there was a little township sort of out in the country, like getting out into the country from where we lived, and Boston Township. But the kids where I went to high school called it Helltown, because it was just this little township that was dying, basically. Like everybody had basically moved out except for a few elderly people, and actually Jay's grandmother lived there. And but we went driving there one time. Need to close. And that was the whole, like, that was one of the things that kids, when I was in high school in the late 80s, early 90s, would do for fun, is just to drive through Helltown, like around dusk, because it was just, it was like one of those little rural townships that is frozen in time. Like the gas station was still had the pumps from the 50s, you know, all that kind of stuff. And when you first drove into it from our town, the cemetery was like the first thing that you'd see, you know, so it just had a really creepy vibe. And then when you came around at one point, there was on the main road, there was a part that we called the edge of the world. And it was because it had such a steep drop off on the other side of it. You'd be going up, and then it would totally feel like you were just going to fall over a cliff.
Holy shit.
You know, it was just the way the road had settled, you know? And, but that's kind of what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
We would go driving through there around dusk, and it was like, you just
totally.
Yeah.
I've recently started doing that on YouTube. Like, so living in Indiana, you know, I've pretty much been all over the fucking state, you know, seen a lot of stuff, you know, doing the exploration thing. But like, I've really started like looking up like abandoned towns and like, you know, just weird shit, like weird abandoned buildings in Indiana.
Oh yeah.
And just to even, because on my 2-hour drive to practice, listening to, you know, the mythology books and shit. And I pass a lot of weird shit like that. Like you say, like the old gas station that still has the pumps from like the 50s. There's one that I fucking passed that's similar to that. Yeah. It doesn't have those pumps, but it's definitely it's like a fucking Texaco or some shit.
Right.
Like, when's the last time you saw those when you weren't in Texas?
Yeah. It seems like the Midwest is good for that stuff. Like, there was a road that when I would drive, I went to school in Bowling Green, Ohio, which is like,
definitely familiar with.
20 minutes south of Toledo. And I would take the surface roads instead of taking the turnpike. And there was Gore Orphanage Road was one of the roads, like just Bowling Green, because the Gore Orphanage used to be there, and apparently it burned down, and like a bunch of kids died, and supposedly, you know, you could hear the kids screaming at night.
When you're so when I go to Detroit, from where I live, I go up to Dayton and up.
Yep.
And I know about that story. Up there.
That's crazy.
Because there's an exit off of the highway to get to it up there when you're going up to Toledo to cross into Michigan.
Yep.
Hell yeah, I totally get. You just totally got me, man. Totally good content. But I have one more question for you all. But before we get to it, as always, there's links. They're listed below. So gives likes, shares, follows. Go do all the things and all the stuff, because that's what fucking matters. You know, we get that stupid bullshit on the Spotify 1,000 plays. You know, if you don't have 1,000 plays, it's garbage tracks or what the fuck ever. These people deserve it. You know, put them in your fucking playlist, share it with your friends, do all the things and all the stuff, because that's, you know, music is life, right? This is what I think anyways. So that's why I still do this. Paige, Damion, thank you all so much for coming to the Metal Forge. I appreciate the fuck out of you all for doing this. You know, you're, what is it, about 4:30 there now?
Yeah, about
You're about 3 hours behind me. Thank you for doing this on again, like super short notice. It's only been a couple of days since scheduling. Do you have anybody you would like to shout out or anything else you'd like to promote today?
Let's see. I mean, hopefully we'll have the album finished soon. And so please keep a lookout for that. We're going to do another run of t-shirts and have that up. We'll have those up and available for everyone soon. So, yeah.
Dude, I'm going to say this. Just a black and white print like that Iron Kingdom shirt of just the fucking parapet and the name be fucking bam.
Right.
Fucking bam.
There you go.
Take notes. Yeah.
And we definitely want to start playing some shows outside of Portland too. Like that's sort of a goal we've been talking about for this fall into the winter is like, you know, hitting Eugene, going up to Olympia and Seattle, you know, like up and down the coast to start, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. And that's rad too, because like, it seems like that's the tour, that the tour path, you know, you've got Vancouver, Seattle, Bend, Portland, Boise, and then like Salt Lake.
Right.
And then that's like, and that's it. You know, that's like the tour run through there.
Yeah.
Who did you have, Paige, to shout out and promote?
Oh, I don't know. Keep an eye out for our shows coming up and listen to our music.
Yeah, definitely.
Or else.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So my final question of the day, and we do like to get out there a little bit. Obviously, you know, we're talking about the paranormal stuff and everything. And the conspiracy theory stuff, I'm probably going to cut that out, but I might not. Who fucking knows? Leave it in there. Fuck it. This is how we roll in the Metal Forge anymore. No fucking edits unless it's something fucking intrusive thought crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Speaking for myself.
Yeah.
As you've gotten older,
yes.
What is the thing that you realize that your parents were right about the future?
Everything hurts.
After you're going to turn 40 and wake up and you're going to be sore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think just time going by fast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm only 28, but I don't know.
Yeah,
as you get older, it's like it just like
each year gets faster than the last.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, it feels like there's less and less time to get everything done you want to get done, you know.
Yep. Absolutely. I totally get that too. I was the baby of the family.
Yeah.
So they always used to tease and pick on me.
Mm-hmm.
Get so fucking mad. And mom said to me one time that said, you know, one of these days he's not going to be here and you'll wish that he was to pick on you. Mm-hmm. And she's right.
Yeah.
She was totally fucking right about it.
Yeah.
But not to bring it down on a fucking gloomy note. We're gonna play some fucking music from Riastrad.
Oh, thank you.
What are we gonna play? What's the song that's out?
The Watchtower.
Fuck yeah. The Watchtower. Metal every day. Thank you all so much, Damion, Paige. Appreciate you. And you know, hey, there's a spot in Louisville if you all ever want to play.
Hell yeah. We would love to.
Yeah.
Release your fear and pride.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttatooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week, located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre.